Going live. It is time.
Welcome to the show. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. I don't know where this week went, but it is clearly Thursday, and I did not know that until I was I knew it was Thursday, but I didn't, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got a show to do tonight. I should probably do
Yeah.
notes for that, huh?
Yeah.
I should probably prepare for that, shouldn't I?
Just a little bit. I had to make sure it was Wednesday yesterday because I was like I got off work and it was close to 7 o'clock and I'm like, is it Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah.
Do I have a show in like 30 minutes? So I like check my phone like, oh, it's Wednesday.
We're
Oh,
good.
thank
We're
goodness.
okay.
Whew, okay.
We're fine.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm good.
there's
I'm good.
been like moments where I'm just so grateful that I have notifications on my calendar to tell me that like there's something going on. It just like ping me like, oh, shh, I had to go do that. Yes, I do. Oh man, trying to keep all these things straight lately. It's just been like it's too much stuff. There's like sun hitting. I can see it hitting my chair. It's probably
Oh.
just gonna move this way. I'm gonna fix that. Hang on just a second. I'm gonna stand up. You're gonna get my chest in the camera. Sorry about that, guys. But
Oh, there's Twitch on the camera.
there's Twitch on the camera. The last time I did that during slaying demons, and both girls yelled "boobs." So you know what our friendship is like.
Oh yeah.
It is an incredible thing.
Oh yeah. Those girls are awesome. The your co-hosts.
Yes. Well, you can say it about all of it. All of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. Hello, Corpse
Nope.
Run Radio.
Hello. Welcome to the show, the pre-show.
The goofy pre-show that we are.
Oh, man. I actually got off work at a semi-reasonable time today, like 5 o'clock.
You're like, I got off at normal time today.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was going to get off work at like 2:30 or 3, which is, if I get off at 3:30, that's an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, man, I'll just get a straight 8-hour day. I don't want to have any like long day. And then some paperwork was like, no. And then just threw the paperwork at me. And I was like, oh, yeah, I have to do all this. And then I had some phone calls because with my promotion comes me handing out my business card to clients. And then they call me at weird hours of the night and text me at weird hours of the night and day saying, I know it's late, but something's broke. And then 10 minutes later, oh, my daughter fixed it. Sorry.
Is that like 90% of them? You're like, they're panicked at like 9 p.m. and then their 5-year-old fixed the problem.
That's happened a couple of times so far, but a couple of them is just like, hey, whenever you get this, just give me a call. I have a question. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'll walk it through them over the phone.
Yeah.
And that way they have it working. So if I can fix it over the phone, that's fine. I can just kind of sit in the office or wherever I'm at and just do that.
Yeah.
Hello, Draven. Hello, Natani.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello. Yes, you can focus on the entire show. That means that every single possible show title must be noted as part of
Yes.
the contract that you have signed in air, because we don't have it proven anywhere.
Well, no, I actually got him to sign that at BlizzCon a couple years back when he was there with us. He just doesn't remember it, but I have it.
Oh.
It's like it's in this drawer over here. Just this is the one over here. So
I'll just have to go through the drawer at some point and find it
yeah.
someday when I have some time.
Well, that's the thing, Draven. It was signed in blood. I made sure of that because I knew you would bring up that little caveat because you told me. So sorry.
Don't you remember?
You, the undersigned is hereby henceforth required every week to come up with show titles.
And not miss a single opportunity for a show title ever.
Mhm.
Never ever. I know this. It sounds harsh. It sounds rather daunting, but You were insistent. You told Marconin that it was your sworn duty as a fan of Tauren Think Tank and as one of our sword-wielding moderators in our chat to make sure that our show title cache was full when we were done with the recording. Yeah.
Them's the breaks.
You can't
Them's the
bullshit a
breaks.
bullshitter. These are all my improv lessons paying off right now. Yep.
Let's see here.
I think I've mentioned that I did improv lessons.
Yeah,
like 2
in
years.
a couple years back, right?
Way back, like in my 20s probably.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, there was like one of the teachers of the class who was also one of the cast members of the improv troupe pulled me aside and told me I would never be successful as an improver. Said I didn't have what it took.
Yeah, ain't got the chops, kid.
Yeah, you won't be successful. And it's like, great, thanks for making me feel like I could accomplish things. That's awesome. I appreciate it. And now, will you look at me? I'm improvisationaling on the interwebs with a microphone in front of my face. It's just...
It's almost like she or he, you didn't tell me who. It's almost like they had no idea what they was talking about. They've got this, they think they got the nose for talent, but what they really got is a nose for nothing. They just don't understand that people can grow. You can take a seed, something of a little bit of point of your personality, some way to nurture it. And you, my dear friend, have done this by coming online and just throwing yourself off the deep end onto the internet. You have gone out here and you have seen and you have spied and heard and smelled what's going on out here. And you have taken that, brought back all these nuggets from across the globe and all of the interwebs, and you brought it and distilled it down into its very essence and the ways that we can help people out there. And then you brought it, you molded it, you turned it into this giant Tauren that I'm wearing on the shirt on me right now, by the way, torrentthink.com/store. I just bought this one last week. Anyway, then you brought it out and you showed it to the world. And then here we are, 279, episodes later. And here we are still going 6 years later. 6 years? 5 years?
6 years.
6 years. Anyway, long story short, they were full of it.
They were full of it. I know, it was a guy. He thought he knew everything. It's like, one of the best ways that you could get me to go ahead and show you up is tell me I can't do something. So it's like, I'll never forget that though. That was one of those moments where it was like, yeah, you're never going to have this dream. You're never going to have it. It's like, oh, okay. That's cool.
You got no future, kid.
It was kind of like that. It was literally kind of like that. It was, if you think that you can be a cast member in an improv troupe, it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. You don't have what it takes.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, let me be the first to announce that I just created a new Blizzard group, which is like Blizzard's Discord, called Tauren Think Tank.
Aha!
So, if you are in the game and you're wanting to play with some other gamers, some other Moo crew, just search for Tauren Think Tank. I could not find a Tauren icon, but however, there is a croissant that looks like upturned horns. So
wait, there's a croissant?
It's a croissant, yeah, that's like hooked like this. So it looks like a Tauren. So I have just created it right now. I've been thinking about it the last few days because the groups are the new thing. So
yeah, they are.
And I'll announce it during the show as well. Okay. So it's a way for if people are like, hey, I need people to do the things and we need people to do this thing in Heroes or this thing. And if you're just there on your Blizzard launcher, you can see it.
Yeah. Well, let me go in there and do it right now.
Okay.
Let me go do
Let's see. Let's see if I can... Here, I'll invite you.
Why, thank you. I see a social thing. Invitation to Tauren Think Tank. Oh my god, it is a croissant.
If they had a Tauren, I would have used it, but
All right, Blizzard launcher has to go away because it's killing my latency. All right, let's do that. All right.
oh no.
Oh no. Just look for the croissant. This is hell of a pre-show. All right. There we go.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I made you a leader, so you've got.
Ashanka! Holy crap! Good to see
What?
you. What? Welcome to the chat room, Winchester. Bim. Welcome, Solomio. Missed you earlier. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
The one with the croissant signed in blood. I can't believe
All right.
it's a croissant.
It's the closest thing to a Tauren, Jules. I'm sorry.
It's just funny.
All right, so this invite's good for another 29 minutes and 30 seconds in the chat. So if you click that link, it's like a Discord link.
Yeah.
If I have to explain the technology to you, I'm sorry, I can't. I am your host, not your tech support today. I'm tech support. I'm tech support 50, 60 hours a week. So
Yeah, I'm not tech support.
hey,
nothing.
there's Draven. Welcome aboard, Draven. And you shall be deemed moderator.
Moderator. Ha! Moderator. I didn't even intend to come up with that. It just literally popped out
like
of my mouth.
Oh my goodness, all these people. Hello, Grandagus. Everybody's jumping in there.
Boom. That's awesome.
Jump in the line, rock your body in time.
Okay, I believe you.
Love that song. Ashes first.
Gotta say first. First.
He
All right,
did.
let me test some sound. Let's see here. Let's do which one do I want? Which one do I want? I'm looking at the soundboard. This one.
Did someone call
Someone call for the doctor.
Nice.
Called it.
You
Called
did. I hit it as you were saying it. Well done. It's like a mind meld.
I know. Oh, so weird.
It's so weird. Chat room. Are you prepared to do a show? Because we're here. We're ready. We've got show notes. We've got things. We got things to talk about.
We got things.
Things.
Let's give him something to talk about.
We got things.
Let's give him something to talk about.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I need just the like a jukebox that I can just play as you go through stuff.
Mm-hmm. Just follow the train of music.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like here. Okay, that one. And someone creates a technology for a podcaster to just basically say the song name, and it just pops up and goes, "Here's your song," and you play it. Like Siri for podcasters.
Yeah. Here's the hits from Tauren Think Tank episode 279. Coming up at number 10. Da-da-da-da, number 10.
Oh, my Lord.
I don't know.
I haven't listened to a top 40 song thing forever. Holy crap. Chat room's ready.
Yeah. No, it was not a Coors beer. It was a Mountain Dew Kickstart, which I probably shouldn't be drinking at 8 p.m., but that's okay. I took a nap in this very chair about an hour ago because I was sleepy and I didn't want to fall asleep during the show. So I just kind of, it can lean back. So I was like, wee, and
You're
just took a nap.
Sleeping time. Yeah. All right. Chat room's prepared.
We could do instead of a hey there Delilah, hey there Marcia. Hey there Marcia, won't you step up on this train? I don't want to leave you behind because we've got a lunch appointment to make. Yes, it's true.
Oh my God.
If you miss the train, I'll be upset with you.
I didn't know where you were, Marcia. This is going to be one of those shows, isn't it? It's just going to be one of those shows. Marconin had a nap before his brain is just firing.
Yeah, it's all supercharged. I'm ready to go.
I mean, I haven't had awake Marconin, like super awake Marconin for a while. It's usually like I'm transitioning from work like 5 minutes before, coming in Marconin.
Just like quickly getting out of uniform and just like, okay, I've had 14 hours in an attic, sweating up a storm, and I can't function. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Tauren Think Tank.
I'm gonna be empathetic now.
Yeah, like okay, I've been up here all day. Got to bring it back down.
All right, chat room's ready. I'm ready. You ready?
Yes.
We're ready. Let's do this thing. Tauren Think Tank episode 279 records in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the podcast about the Blizzard gamer behind the keyboard.
It's episode 279 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Thursday, August 2nd, 2018, 8:10 in the PM. Central Daylight Time is where we sit right now, and my name is Joel Scott. Here I am with another episode of the show, and with me, as always, is the man who has the caffeine-infused brain. We don't know what's going to happen to the rest of the show, but be prepared and buckle in, guys. It's Marconin.
Hold on to your butts, ladies and gentlemen. I took a nap and had caffeine. I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew. Let's do this.
I wish you could see his face right now because he's literally just kind of like bug-eyed and evil grinny, and it's actually quite interesting to see. He's evil grinny. Yeah. And now Marconin can actually see me on the front-facing camera that goes out to the stream because thank you to technology shifting around a little bit, I can project that right through to him through Skype, so he doesn't see me looking like this the whole time.
Yeah, no. For the last like 5 years, I've been like she's looked like this to me every week, so I have to look at like her left ear. Yep. And so now it's pretty good because now I can actually like look straight at her. It's really cool.
It is cool. It's like technology. It's a good thing. It works well. And so does this podcast. It works well, we hear from people. So thank you for that. And we're back again with another letter from another listener to give you some needed advice and hopefully things that'll get you on your way. But first, we always start out by talking about what's been happening in our world because, you guys kind of like knowing that. So we'll start with Marconin and see what the last 7 days have brought you.
Oh, well, I have nearly achieved personally what the title that I've been chasing in WoW is. I've nearly gone insane because I am almost done with the insane title grind. I just have like 150 or 200 more junk boxes to get, which should only take a couple hours. Oh, but finding the will to do it after work every day it's a little intense. So I am almost there. I cannot wait to be done with this so that I don't ever have to set foot in Lower Blackrock Spire again.
Yeah. Because
I've been looting those junk boxes on my Pandaren rogue. Just in a loop.
What a nightmare. It just feels like you're just, The only thing I can say right now is that I know Avengers Infinity War came out, so you could just watch that like a whole bunch of times. And
yeah, well, it came out on digital, but I haven't bought it. I'm actually going to go pick it. It actually comes out the same day that Battle for Azeroth does.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So I'm going to go to the store that I pre-ordered the collector's edition from, grab it, and then grab Infinity War and walk out the door. And then I'll have it on this monitor while I'm leveling up in Kultiras. So I'll just have it on loop. I've actually been watching a lot of Ready Player One the last week because I got it last week, and I've just been watching it. Was it that last week or this week when it came out?
I don't know.
I think it was this week. Whenever it came out, I watched it a bunch and just had it on loop. And while I'm grinding through Lower Blackrock Spire, and it's been okay. It's helped me keep me sane. All the pop culture references and the CGI DeLorean. So It's helped.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the main thing that's been going on the last week for me. Other than just a butt ton of working, it's been a very crazy busy last few weeks, and just really getting all the stuff done. I did the good old Burning of Teldrassil quests this week.
Mm-hmm.
I am not doing them on my troll mage. I'm not doing the horde side on this one. Luckily, you get both mounts at the end, the horde and the alliance version when you finish one. So thankfully, I don't have to mess with that because I don't really want to. A lot of people online have been taking this stuff really seriously.
Yes, they have.
And faction pride is awesome, but don't take it to the real world and start like really insulting the devs and like especially Christy Golden, who had nothing to do with the decision to do this. She wrote the book, but that's because Blizzard was like, here's what we're doing, flesh it out.
Yeah, it was her story. It wasn't her story that was written. She took the story that they had and brought it to life. Yeah.
I mean, I'm mad that Teldrassil is giant marshmallow toasting factory now. But I'm pretty sure the Alliance will get their day in the sun as well. When one person gets a victory, the other person will later on as well. So just keep your head about you out there, folks. I know most of my listeners out there, you guys are fine. It's just those that I see, out there a couple times out in the Twitterverse is just being horrible people. Please don't do that. If you really feel the need to do that online, walk away from the keyboard, put your phone away, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Go pet an animal, go have a drink, do something else. Just calm down, people. Yeah. So I've been, go ahead.
I was lucky. I did not see anybody be a royal piece of crap about it. I saw people being upset about it, but I didn't see anybody actually being, a shitty person to the devs, which is awesome. It means I've curated my timeline quite well then.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of direct vitriol, which is good, but I see the impact of it mostly like you have. So it's good that the people that we know aren't really going out on a limb there and really just taking a crap on the writers and the developers because of that.
Exactly.
Like, it will be okay. Yeah, I'm mad too. I'm mad at Tauren. I'm mad at Sylvanas. Like, I'm mad at all this stuff, but we will get through this. Mm-hmm. It's okay. So that's the main kind of things that have been going on with me. Also celebrated the 9-year anniversary of my first MMO going away. They shut down the servers 9 years ago on the 30th. So rest in peace, Matrix Online. You will forever be in our hearts. Those of us that played.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. You have had an extremely busy week.
Oh my gosh!
So
yeah.
let me settle in so you can tell me all about it.
Okay.
And I guess our listeners too.
Yes.
You guys want to hear about it? All right, let's do it.
Buckle in. It's time. So I had talked about on the show that I had this really good second interview for a job that I really was hoping to get, and that was on Wednesday that I had that interview, and I was hoping that I would hear something like by Friday. And it would be great because then I would just be like, the decision is made, and I was super, super anxious and ready to like hear something. Nothing. And I had to sit through the whole weekend trying to keep my mind occupied of like, did I get it? Did I not get it? Did I, this is killing me because I just want to know. I really, really don't want to be unemployed anymore. Like, really don't. And I waited all day Monday. Nothing. So Mondays are the days that the open division for HGC competitions start, and Femferocity, my team, has been playing every week for the last 6 weeks. So this one was no exception. And so we get in there. I'm usually in listening to them in comms, muted so that I can't speak, but they're talking to each other. I'm listening to them communicate to each other. and they were in the middle of their first match, second game, and I checked my email and saw a rejection letter. And that was not good. That was not good, because I was really hopeful for this one. I was really, 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 really hopeful for this one. So it hit me like a truck. And of course, I had told my parents that it was, they wanted to know as soon as I heard something. A couple friends wanted to hear as soon as I heard something. So then I had to text people and tell them, well, my team is like playing and I'm upset. I won't lie. I was like gutted. I was crying. Yeah. I was just like, I can't believe this. I don't want to start all over again. This sucks. And so I'm trying to pull myself together as the team is competing for that night. And I'm just like, all I want to do is curl up in a ball and like go to bed. Because it really was, it was tough. But as it turns out, Femme Ferocity placed fourth, or they took like top 4 in their first night of the 2-night competition. Like they got into the top 4, which is the first time we've ever gotten there. They played like maniacs. They played so well. So then We're all like super excited and I'm super happy. And I'm dealing with the gut wrenching, like, oh my God, I just got a rejection from a job I really wanted, to, oh my God, my team, I'm so proud of you guys. And then, like it was just this stupid roller coaster of emotions, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we get through Monday and, that kind of thing. And I was able to just kind of like deal with the situation. Femme Frosty wound up taking 4th in this week's cup, which is very admirable. We would have liked to have done better, but things that need to be worked on. And it was a great experience for them. It was very, very exciting. So I, of course, just had to kind of like regroup myself and just be like, all right, time to go back out there. Keep putting out resumes, keep filling out applications. Let's go. But in the meantime, there were 2 other things that I had been working on that came to fruition this week, which again was like the super up, right? It was like, yay, these are really cool things. So I have literally just been on this roller coaster of life. It has really just been like that. So wanted to tell you guys about 2 things that are really cool. Couple weeks ago, I had an idea that I wanted to do a Heroes of the Storm podcast in short form, kind of like 10 minutes or less. I've never done a solo cast before, but I do think that there wasn't anything out there that was like that. There was not anything that was just kind of like giving you, the news in a shorter form podcast so that you can get it and go on with your day. And I brought it to my partners at Nerf This, and we talked about it, and really it just wasn't a good fit for what we were doing with general esports podcasts. This is very specialized. And I was like, I really just want to do this, but I'd like to do this with a partner that really believes in this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of courage. But I sent a message to the owner of HeroesHearth.com and Heroes Hearth Esports. His name is Workhorse. I've met him once before on another brief project or interaction. And, we hadn't really talked to each other a ton. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I want to do this. I'm going to just do this. So I screwed up all my courage and I sent him a message and I pitched him the idea, and I said, I'd love to talk to you about this more. If I get the opportunity, I'd love to have set up a meeting with you. And he responded almost immediately. He's like, oh my gosh, totally, yes, that'd be amazing. And I was like, oh my God, I did that. Like I set up the meeting. And so we had a meeting that wound up lasting for 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it was super cool. I knew that he lived here in Minneapolis as well. And it was just like, I got to learn about what they're doing with HeroesHearth.com. He got to learn about all the things that I had done and previously with CTR and the CTR party and the community building that I've done. And in that conversation, he was like, he loved my podcast idea. We had like this amazing discussion about it. He's like, let's do it. I want to call it Heroes News with Jules Scott. And that's what we're going to call it. And we're going to put it up on the website and we're going to promote the shit out of it. And it was like, oh my gosh, okay. And so
wow,
we had this happen. And in that discussion, he had mentioned that he was interested in, and kind of like, yeah, Heroes Hearth has a Patreon and we haven't done anything with it. We just haven't done anything with it. It's not really like, nobody seems to know about it, even though it's linked on the website. And I took a look at it and I said, well, I've done crowdfunding stuff before. I've, done like Kickstarter development and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he just said to me, do you think you could do something with this? And I was like, yeah, why not? So we struck a deal and I said, let me give you a proposal. And I did, and we hashed it out, and we worked together to create a total revision of his Patreon, with new goals, new reward tiers, everything, like just a brand new, like, revitalized effort. And they launched it on Monday, and
sweet.
They have increased their Patreon amount by over $100 a month now.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's been incredible. And the pilot kind of teaser episode of Heroes News with Jules Scott went live today.
Awesome.
So I'm very proud of myself because this took a lot of guts for me.
Yeah.
I've been podcasting for 6 years, but I've never done something solo. I've always had a partner. I've always had a team. I've never done a show and developed a show on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those things where I was just like, Jules, you're just in the midst of a tremendous amount of transition. There is no better time for you to just go out there and do something that you really want to do. And I did it, and I was so happy that I did because I built this amazing relationship, this contact with Workhorse from Heroes Hearth, and he has tremendous ideas. He wants me to like work with them ongoing, and
wow,
it was literally me just having the nerve to do something about it. And
yeah,
I wanted to share that, not to like toot my own horn or anything, but to tell you guys that sometimes it just takes a moment of courage to go after what you want, and to not be afraid of doing something that you really want to do, because you just never know what it will turn into. I went in there to pitch him a podcast idea. What it came out with was an amazing like connection with someone who is similarly minded to me and the things that I have done. My experience is super valuable to him, and he wants to reward that. It was like, I was sitting there going, I don't know what just happened, but that's awesome. Like, that was so cool. And we announced Heroes News with Jules Scott today. It just came out, and so Workhorse was like, I'm putting it up on Reddit, on the Heroes Reddit. And I went, oh no.
Uh-oh. Because
Reddit is a scary effing place. Like,
yeah, it is.
Reddit is mean, judgmental. They'll rip you to shreds. And I said to him, I'm like, I'm waiting for the who the heck is this chick comments to come in, because that's the kind of thing, and a lot worse, that will come out of there. And instead, like, it was great. It was like, it got to be like number 3 on the Reddit front page of the Heroes of the Storm Reddit, and I was like, oh my god,
wow,
I know. It was super cool. It was very, very cool to have that support, and it's been downloaded like almost 200 times already, just the little like 49-second teaser. You can go out and see heroeshearth.com, and if you see it, it's like right on the sidebar on the left. You'll see it on the sidebar. You can listen to it, and it's also on your favorite podcatchers as well. I put it out on iTunes and Google Play and Pocket Casts, and the RSS feed is out there. It's called Heroes News with Jules Scott, and the intent is going to be 10 minutes or less, all the news about HGC, the Open Division, and Heroes of the Storm. And yes, go me. So I did the thing. And I'm stoked about it. So that's awesome. I also did a second episode of Nerf this week, talking about general podcasting, which is or general esports, which is just kind of blows my mind that I'm doing that now. And yeah, it's been a good week. I had a phone interview today for a job. So it was pretty devastating to not get that position. It was, just so you guys know, in case like people are asking or thinking in their heads, no, it was not for Blizzard. It was not like anything like that. But it was a really good position that would have paid me a lot more money than I was used to making, and I would have been able to work from home, and it was just going to be a game changer for me for a lot of reasons. And so that's why it was really tough to not get it, and I still don't even know why. Like, I thought I did amazing in the interview.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure you did.
Well, it's just that, honestly, they didn't give me any feedback to tell me why they didn't pick me. So I don't know, and I will never know. And I just have to deal with that. But I went from having a really, really bad week to having a pretty decent one. So I'm happy. And yeah, so that's my summary of what has happened in the last 7 days. Life is interesting right now. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Being unemployed for a month now, it's hard. I have to go to a governmental reemployment session, like a required thing that I have to go to, where I have to bring my resume to someplace downtown St. Paul, and they tell you it takes about 2 hours, and I'm like, that's something I really don't want to do, but you have to. So yeah, and so it's just kind of like you deal with it, you do what you got to do, but and yeah, that's that. I'm sure I'll have more to talk about next week. The very first full episode of Heroes News comes out next Thursday. So
sweet.
Yes.
Can't wait to listen to it.
It should be fun. I've got a bunch of ideas for, contributions and getting little sound bites from people in the community, that kind of stuff. So we'll see how that'll all work out. I'm trying to figure it out technically. So
yeah.
Yes. So we'll figure all that out as we go. But yeah. That's what's going on with me. That's what's going on with Mark Honan. And now we're going to talk about some things that are going on with one of you in the community. And that's the Think Tank prompt, if I can find where the bumper is, because it hasn't moved. It's the same place it's always been.
Yeah.
I'll play it right now.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's Think Tank time, Mark Honan.
It's Think Tank time, Jules.
It's ready. I'm so ready. It's a bit of a long letter, but it's necessary to kind of set the stage. So buckle in. You get to hear my voice for a little bit longer. Hi, Triple T. Firstly, I'd like to thank you guys for everything that you do with your show and the many ways you help people. I'm sure you get that a lot, but seriously, listening to your podcast always leaves me feeling positive and refreshed. In a world where I often feel surrounded by an overwhelming amount of external negativity and frustration, tuning into your show and listening to you guys help others and speak about the difficulties you go through yourselves and the ways that you are trying to improve is extremely refreshing. Listening to the show helps me remember that there are amazing people out there who are putting their energy into making the world a better place and helping others. So seriously, I could not be more thankful for you two taking the time to record Triple T.
Thank you.
Here's my question. I've always had terrible luck with relationships and finding a mutual attraction with other people, so I generally haven't had many romantic relationships in my life. Last autumn, I wound up reconnecting with my high school ex, and we started dating for a few months again. After we broke up at the end of high school, I was never the same person again. All I could think about for years while we were apart was how much I had missed her, so recently reconnecting was like a dream come true. I felt like I got a second chance with the one that got away. Everything was going really well from my perspective. It felt amazing to be with the person that I loved during the holidays, and I was so happy to have her as a major part of my life again. But at the beginning of this year, she left me again, saying that while she cared deeply about me, she couldn't find it in herself to love me. I was torn beyond pieces. For months, it felt like there was a massive hole in my chest that was physically crippling. The amount of emotional pain I was experiencing was unlike anything I'd felt before, all while I felt like my world was crumbling beneath me. Extremely toxic thoughts constantly entered and resided in my mind. Did this mean I wasn't worthy of love from not only the person I had ever cared about most, but from anyone at all? As I tried to process these emotions and recover, I also tried putting myself back out there to meet new people, but found it way too difficult to start something new and close such an emotional trap, and close such an important chapter of my life at the same time. Finally, about a month ago, we reconnected once more and had a deep, productive, and mature conversation about what each of us wanted. Hearing her say again that she could only care about me and not love me changed everything, but this time, surprisingly, for the better. I think hearing it again after months of time apart gave me the closure that I needed, putting to rest any hopes that we might find our way back to each other. And I've only noticed over the past month that I've been feeling more alleviated than I have in the years since we've known each other. She might not be the one, and while it still makes me sad, it's okay now. Having closed that chapter in my life, I'm ready for whatever comes next, and I guess my question really boils down to this. When you guys are experiencing an enormous amount of change in your lives, romantically, professionally, socially, or otherwise, what are your tips for trying to be as successful as possible in that transition? What are some of the things you guys struggle with for most, and what are some of the best strategies you've discovered that work best for yourselves? Do you have any advice, tips, or words of wisdom for people who are in similar situation to me and are trying to put themselves out there in any aspect to meet new people and discover new opportunities? Apologies for the long email, and thank you again for everything you do. Best wishes from your favorite chat mom. And chat mom, just so you know, is a man. So he, him pronouns, and this is a guy that we're talking about. Good Lord, this letter is just like, hi, have you met me? I can give you advice about this.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I can give you so much advice about this.
Yeah, I was going to say the starting enormous changes in your life, how to be successful in the transition. I mean, that's Jill Scott 101 right there. Let's give you the master class. Yeah, I was going to say, you got the textbook. Have you got the new edition? Here it is. Huge tome. Just boom, right there.
I feel like you guys have traveled the road with me a lot, and you've traveled the road alongside me with that. But we all have dealt with tremendous change and transition in our lives, whether it's, I've talked about this before on the show, is that there's the change that we incite in ourselves, and then there's the change that happens to us. And, like Mark Honan had a situation where he was, last year was going to try for the new position that he has now. Well, the previous version of the new position that he has now.
Yeah, before I got the slight promotion, yeah.
Before you got the promotion. And, I mean, I think I can speak for you for saying this. It was as stressful as if you had lost a job.
Oh yeah, it was a big change in departments, and I was scared that it wouldn't be enough work. I was scared that I couldn't do the work. It was, I had left what I'd been doing for 7 years, almost the entire time that I'd worked there. I'd been in this one area of, and I'd gotten really good at it.
Yeah.
I knew the ins and outs of everything there. I could give advice. People called me from other stores in other parts of the country to ask me advice. And asked me, how do I do this? So I knew it in and out, but I needed a change, and this opportunity came across, but I was scared because I don't like change. I've made that abundantly clear on the show before. I don't like change. I'm afraid of it. It's scary.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, I mean, I called Jules. How many times did I call you? I know at least 2 or 3 times probably, just to ask for your advice and what you thought about how to do this. I kept juggling back and forth whether I should accept the position or not, and I decided to go for it. I decided, like, well, the only direction I could possibly go is either up or out, and might as well take the chance. And it has been a gigantic blessing ever since I took that job, because I'm a lot happier where I'm at now. My every day is different. Every day is an adventure, as I tell clients every day. I get to meet animals. I get to travel around the state. I get to build things with my hands and make things work, make people happy. I was telling this little girl, I was working at her parents' house, and the little girl asked me what I did, and I said, well, I'm kind of like Santa Claus. I bring people toys every day. Yeah. People are happy when they see me, and it's just very very cool to do that. And so it's been a blessing. It's been one of the best changes in my life, because it's really given me a better outlook. I always try to stay, ruthlessly optimistic,
right?
Because the alternative sucks. But I was feeling some cracks in that veneer before I took the job, and it has been reinforced tenfold at least. So yeah, I mean, change is scary, change sucks, but change can be also extremely rewarding. So
the number one thing I think I can advise to you when you're going through major change is to have someone that you trust, that you can be as your sounding board, to help you as a rational mind, to help you through your anxiety and your stress about the current situation. Because here's what happens. You start to stress out. Your brain starts thinking about all the possible scenarios, the what ifs, the what nots, the if this happens, then what about this? And I don't know if I can handle this. And it can spiral out of control. And just like Mark Conan said, he would call me and just say, I don't know what to do. And my job as the sounding board was to say, basically to break it down, to say, what is the worst that could happen in this scenario for you? Is the worst thing that you can picture that you hate your job, you transition out of this job and you hate it. Is that something that you're willing to take on? Is that something that you are willing to actually take a risk for? And I remember saying that like directly to him. Like, it was like, if you hate this job, is that the worst thing that could happen? And he said, yeah. And I was like, so you'll figure it out if that's the case. Like, you'll just find another job. And you can always maybe go backwards, but there's options. And and afterward, and then it was the question of like, what kind of money would I make, and what if I didn't have enough hours, and like there were all these things, and I was able to be the rational sounding board for him to say, okay, so what's the likelihood of that actually happening? Like, yes, it's a worry, but how big is that true worry? In your head, it looks like a monster. And so in a scenario like for Chat Mom, where it's like I'm putting myself out there to maybe date again, and man, I feel this one. I'm 44, trying to figure out how to date again in a world where I don't know how to date at 44. And it's like, I get to the point, I'll admit this, I literally just get to the point where I'm like, I can't do this. I can't deal with this. It's not time yet. I can't deal with this right now. And I just literally have to admit that and just say, nope, this is not the right time for me to deal with this. And because there's nothing that says that you have to have a partner. There's nothing that says that you have to have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a spouse. Like, you don't have to.
Yeah.
And if your body and your mind is just saying nope, then listen to it. Like, for goodness sake, like, if it's not comfortable, then don't do it. Because that was something that I had to learn about myself a long time ago. I know that this has been said on the show before, but we live in a world of couples. We live in a world where it's expected to, like, when are you gonna find a girl and get married? Like, when are you gonna do this? people
Where's my grandbabies?
Where's my grandbabies? Yeah. People expect you to find that significant other and settle down and get married and do the thing. And I did that thing twice. and it didn't work. One of them was really, really bad. Like, I'm still unraveling the damage from that bad. And it's like, I realized after a very painful divorce that I had to learn how to be comfortable being alone.
Mm-hmm.
I had to figure it out. I had to learn how to be okay in a world full of couples. Because that, in essence, is going to make me a better partner at the time whenever that may come around again, is to say, I don't need this to be happy. It's not a requirement in my world to be married, have a husband, or whatever it is, to define my happiness. And that moment of like, yeah, this is okay. I'm working on me. That's okay. It's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not completely awesome. Like, it is lonely sometimes. It would be nice to like be able to go certain places and not feel like a third wheel,
Mm-hmm.
in the world full of couples. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. I just have to kind of lean against the peer pressure in that way.
Yeah. You just have to stay in your ground and say, no, you don't have to, it's not set in stone anywhere that you have to be coupled up, and you can still go out and enjoy your life and do these things. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely possible. And like you said, you do, that's the ideal situations where if you do get out of a relationship is you learn to love yourself. You learn to love being who you are as just you. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, it will make you a more valuable asset if you ever do decide to pair up with somebody, because you've got that strong foundation of self. It's and we've heard it many times before. You don't want to bring your baggage with you from a past relationship, because then you're just in a relationship just to be in a relationship, just because you need, it's like, I am awful at roller skating. Like, every time I go roller skating, it takes me like 3 hours to just skate like 10 feet without holding the safety bar without falling down.
Me too.
Like, and then by the time I kind of get the hang of it, it's time to go home.
Right.
I'm like, oh no. And then I lose it. It just goes whoop out the head.
Right.
And the next time I go, I'm falling flat on my butt, like, over and over and over. And at this point where Chat Mom's at, he is just now, he is not holding on to the handle, because, he was so heartbroken. And man, I tell you what, I get this 1,000%. When my high school sweetheart dumped me, I was destroyed.
Yeah. For
years it affected me. The next 2 or 3 gals I dated, I would compare it to her. I'd still, she, and we didn't even date that long, but she was my first serious girlfriend. She was my high school sweetheart. Mm-hmm. And that like brands your heart in a sense, because you've got that impact on you, and you're always going to, compare them, but you've really got to learn to, as you're, and it sounds like you got some awesome closure with that. So you're learning now how to skate without holding on to the bar, because a lot of people will just cling to other people and hold on to that bar while they're skating around the rink, and they won't ever like try to push away and discover what kind of skater they are before they can pal up with somebody else who's skating around a little faster.
Yeah.
You'll be forever that person grabbing on from arm, bar to bar, and never really discovering who you are, and who you can be by yourself,
or what you can do. Like,
yes,
what you're capable of. And that kind of like links back to my earlier story of putting myself out there, because and going after a podcast goal that I wanted to do. There's an amount of like, when you are in the middle of change, especially when you are recovering from a loss, like, I've literally been in that. I'm in that position right now. I have lost a lot in the last 2 months. And it's been a grieving process. It's been a true grieving process. That hole in your chest that you described, like, I literally know exactly what that feels like. When my ex-husband and I split up, I had to hold a pillow to my chest and hold it because of that hole. It is like physical, like you feel it.
Yeah.
That was the only way that it would stop, was to like press a pillow to my chest. So I totally understand that. And when I have losses, and you know, it like, I know that happens, and it has to go through time. It has to go through processing. One of the things that Wendy has had me work on is, you know, those kind of like obsessive conversations in your head that you would have with another person who's wronged you. You know the ones, like the one where someone has done something to really, really hurt you, like deeply hurt you, and you've never had the time or the chance, not even the time, but the opportunity to actually say the things that you wish you could say to get that closure, the things that you want to get off your chest. And so they sit in your head. And they spin, and they keep you up at night, and you like have an actual conversation with yourself of what you wish you could say to that person. You just wish you could say those words. And she told me that I needed to either do one of two things. I needed to just write it out like a letter and crumple it up and throw it away, write it in a blog that I would never post someplace and just delete it, or speak it as a voice memo on my phone.
Yeah.
And then delete it, or save it and listen to it later when you're not feeling so raw. And I'll tell you what, it seems really stupid to do something like that. It feels really awkward to do something like that. But I had to. Like, so I did it. And it was one of those nights where I couldn't sleep, and I was spinning it around in my head. And I picked up my phone, and I found the voice memo, and I just had I had the one-sided conversation with that person, and I told them exactly what it is that was in my head, and I cried, and I got it all out, and then I just like fell asleep because it got out of me. It wasn't there to like obsess over anymore. And like I said, like in the beginning of this statement, this piece is that you have to come to closure. You have to grieve. You have to let it go. You have to release it, or else you'll just carry it with you, like the baggage that Mark Honan said earlier. It'll just come with you to your next relationship, to your next friendship, to your next working situation. You have to mourn it, you have to release it, and you have to let it go. And sometimes it will take time. You'll have to do it multiple times to like, cause you'll spin up more shit in your head that you gotta say or you gotta do.
Oh, I should have said that too. Oh, I gotta record it again.
Yeah. And so this is what happens with me, is that I may have that one piece that I've gotta like spin out, but then the realizations of other things start to come to fruition. Like, you know, I mean, I'll just use an example, like random example, like thinking about, you lied to me. You didn't tell me the truth. You misled me to believe this instead of that. And you did it intentionally, and I don't understand why. And, you know, these things that spin up in your brain, and you just have to, like, you're processing. You're trying to get some kind of understanding of how the situation, how you were wronged. He was very lucky that he actually had the opportunity to have that second discussion with her and reach that closure. Like, that doesn't happen a lot of times. You don't actually get that.
It really doesn't. Yeah. You've really got some good luck on your side for getting a chance to actually get that solid, like, in-person closure. And that's, you know, that, I mean, and like you said, while it makes you sad, you know, it's okay now.
Yeah.
You know, you've kind of moved forward, and you're trying to see what's coming on next.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, getting ready for that next transition, it may seem scary, but you've got to come at it with this attitude of positivity and, just that cliche, like, just go get them. Hey, it's a brand new day. It's uncharted territory. It's scary and doesn't feel safe, but, every adventure is not safe. Any adventure worth having is not safe. It is not easy. It is not, easy to obtain and reach the goal and all that stuff. I kind of take it as, especially, and it started out with this job that I have now. When I started, I just had my eyes open, ears open, blank canvas, ready to learn, ready to learn everything I could about the position, all the little ins and outs. Every day I was like, wow, this is really cool. I came at it with this almost forced attitude of positivity. And, I have other coworkers that have been working for years in this position, and they're like, you'll learn someday. You're going to have bad days. It's going to be awful. You're going to hate your job. It's going to be great. I was like, yeah. But then, and I do have bad days. I have really awful days at work. But then I remember, and I take myself, how you can get on Google Maps and you can like pluck the little yellow, drop him, and you can like see where you're at on the map.
Yeah.
I take my little yellow guy me up, and I should dangle him over my job and see, look at all this cool stuff that you're doing. Remember what you did last week when you did this and you did this and you got to do that? And then I pluck myself right back down where I'm at right then and there. I'm like, yeah, it was a really crap day, but I get paid to do this. Like, I get paid to goof around and talk to people, meet their animals, put cool stuff in their house, be like Santa Claus every day. And I tell you what, I'm very nice to people in general, and this is how I talk to normal people. But man, I can really lay it on thick when I'm talking to customers, and I've got little jokes that I tell at every appointment that really, I it's like a comedian. Mm-hmm. I pitch a joke, and if it lands, I'll keep it in the pocket. And so I'm always nice, and that actually helps me reinforce being positive about this huge change in my life. And that's kind of when you're exploring these new places in your life, be it a new city that you've moved to, a new relationship, you kind of play and see what works and what doesn't, and you use that to kind of mold where you're going, and you're charting this new path and you're learning as you go. So that's kind of my advice, is just to come at it with a just epic crap ton of positivity. Even if you're like, I don't want to be positive about it, just kind of pluck yourself up and say, hey, this is where you were. You've had some bad times. Your high school sweetheart really just like tore into you. Not tore into you, but her leaving you these couple of times now really tore you up, but you've moved past it, and here you are in a new exciting chapter. Make the most of it. Remember, in the grand scheme of things, where you are right now. It's a very exciting time. New love. It's nauseatingly sweet. So, getting out there and finding a new person, it's very exciting. You learn about somebody new, uncharted territory. You get a best chance to make another first impression and start a new place. So it can be scary, but it can be very exciting. And so that's kind of my advice, is to really come at it with this, and just, even if you have to force yourself to be positive. I mean, it doesn't hurt to at least try to be positive. It can at least make you feel better about your situation that you're going through. And, it can lead to something better. That's kind of how I do it. I put in this big old grin and meet the day every day. And, other people at work, when I get off the phone with clients, I'm like super, like, I'll even add a little bit more Southern drawl into my voice. Like, I will do that. If a client is like, if I walk in and they've got 17 kinds of deer, duck, goose, turkey, and wildcat stuffed on on the side of their living room, I will sure enough throw out a little bit of Southern drawl and a couple of other Southernisms, and just really kind of ham it up a little bit, just a little bit. I mean, it's me. It's still me, but yeah. It's it's like any kind of public facing job. You have to ham it up a little bit and play a part. Right. So that's kind of what I do. But that's how I do it. Whoa, wow. I don't know what got into Garrus. He just darted away.
I have no idea what he was doing, but he just took off.
Woo! And now he's coming back.
Yeah. There's some weird noise going on.
Is-
No, that's him. Okay. Yeah, he's just freaking out. He is literally just freaked out.
Yeah, he is running back. For those of you in the listening audience, Garrett is just darting back and forth on the screen.
I think he just woke himself up from a nap or something.
Oh, I think maybe
he literally
maybe he was
just
chasing something in
Are
his
you
dreams.
Okay? Like, wow, I have no idea what just happened. He doesn't do that. Holy crap! Anyway, so now back to the show.
Back to the show. But yeah, just
wow.
Yeah, that's kind of my words of wisdom on that one is, I mean, yeah, change is scary. I hate change myself, but I'm starting to come around to the idea that change is not so bad, especially with taking this job. It's kind of helped me bust out of my shell because I did the same thing for 7 years.
Yeah.
That's kind of a long time, especially in this day and age of people running side hustles, changing jobs, where it's very mobile, very rare are the days now that you work at a company for decades and then get a gold watch and a pension at the end. It's very, very rare. I mean, I'm okay with being a company man because I like stability. So if it works out and I get to keep working at the company for decades, I talked to a guy on the phone the other day who just celebrated 25 years.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, man. I was like, that's awesome. Congrats. And he's like, I mean, he actually had like a New York accent. I think he was based out of New York or upstate New York somewhere. He had that accent. No, I love it. So I love calling in there. You get different dialects all the time.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
So my final piece of advice in this whole thing is to treat yourself with kindness during a transition.
Mm-hmm.
Because it becomes very difficult to give yourself space and give yourself kindness when you are trying, grieving, trying to cope with change that you may not have wanted. And that is something that I struggle with. And you would ask for things that you struggle with. That is probably one of the number one things that I struggle with, is to give myself time and space to do what I need to do. And to give myself the moments to grieve, to give myself moments to just not feel like I have to, you have to find a job immediately. You've got to do everything you possibly can. You can't rest until you do, that kind of thing. To allow yourself to feel the emotions that you feel, to allow yourself to be vulnerable, and to allow yourself to feel fragile. Change will break you down. It will dismantle your routine. It dismantles your belief system. It changes how you see the world. It changes what you think. And it doesn't happen in a day. It's just you have to rebuild that. You have to reconstruct that, and it takes time. And I don't usually give myself enough patience. I just expect that I'm going to just immediately recover and bounce back and be the same happy-go-lucky, Jules positivity thing that I am.
Mm-hmm.
And there are days where I just literally can't. I don't have the spoons. I don't have the mental space. I'm just this is about all I can do. And I shouldn't beat myself up about it. And of course I do. I beat myself up.
Yeah.
You're lazy. You're weak. You can't do this. Why aren't you better at this?
Yeah.
That sucks.
I think we're all really good at tearing ourselves down. That's the easy part.
Yeah. And there's this mentality of we inflict upon ourselves is when we have a loss that there's only a certain amount of window of time that you're allowed to feel bad. And then after that, you got to be back on your way. You got to get over it. And I don't follow those paths, apparently. I try to force myself into that box, but it doesn't work well. And what I've realized over time is that one of the things that I had done to myself over time is that, so I'm what you would call a highly sensitive person, and that's not in a negative sense. It's just that I feel emotions very deeply, and I feel them very strongly. And years ago, I was in situations where the emotional toll was very difficult, and the only way that I learned how to cope with it was to wall all of my emotions off and shove them behind a wall, like shove them behind a door, shut it, and just not see them behind there. And what happened over time is that I lost the ability to feel anything.
Yeah.
It was like I took my superpower, which is my ability to read people's emotions, to read them and feel their emotion and relate to them, and I lost it. It was gone. And so through therapy and a lot of work, I worked through that and worked on breaking down those walls and like letting the emotions come out and acknowledging them and processing them. But then what happens is that when things start to come in and you want to compartmentalize, you're not good at it anymore. So, so you're just like trying to deal. I've been trying to deal with emotions of like things where I'm like, all right, time to compartmentalize it and get on with life and do this and do that. And the emotions are like, oh, we told you we're not going back behind that wall anymore. Sorry. You ain't shoving us back there. You ain't ignoring us. You're not going. No, we're not going. And then those coping quote unquote mechanisms don't work anymore. So yeah, I've learned a lot in the last 2 years plus, and I continue to learn. And I continue to realize things about myself that I didn't know. But it comes from change. It comes from being forced outside of my comfort zone, my quote unquote safe spaces that I had, fallen myself into. So be kind to yourself, give yourself space, and allow yourself to grieve. Those are those are the biggest ones. Yeah. One of the things that I've said this on previous episodes recently is that one of the things I have to do is I have to process what's happened with my job situation, my identity, who I was is not the same person that I am now. It's just not. And there's loss around that, and there's sadness around that, and there's pain around that, and you got to deal with it or it ain't going anywhere. So yeah. So that's the work that I have been doing at this point. This work I've been doing for myself to get through the change, to forge ahead, and to push myself into new directions that I would have been scared to go beforehand. So those are my pieces of advice there. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't ever
definitely don't give up. Yeah. The new opportunities will more than likely lead to something better in your life, no matter what it is. If it's relationships, even if the next relationship doesn't work out, and odds are it won't, just from simple just dating around. But the thing about with the dating is you learn something every time. So, it's always a step forward. You're always learning things. You're making missteps, and sometimes that's half the fun.
Exactly.
So,
well, and
so definitely don't be just
Sometimes it's not. I'm in that mode right now where I'm like, it's not.
Sometimes it's not.
But I also know that I'm just not emotionally ready for a serious relationship now. It's like I just know it, and just acknowledging that is the best thing to do. It's like no, it's not happening right now. So
yeah, and that's okay too.
And Garrus is currently doing his rounds around the house trying to calm himself down. So
yeah. Well, he was chasing that mouse all through the house, and then he woke up, and then he was like, "Where's that mouse?"
I literally do not know what happened. I heard a noise, and I don't know if it was him that scared something. Like he scared himself, or the noise scared him. But yeah, that was very strange. Anyway, thank you, Chat Mom, for this really good letter. I feel like I feel like a specific amount of an expert on this topic, so I hope that that it was helpful for you. And yeah, keep going. Just keep moving forward. You've got this.
Mm-hmm. It's exciting and new.
It's not the Love Boat, though.
No. Change, exciting and new.
Yeah, let's do that. The change thing is probably good. I don't know if you could hear the bottle cap being batted around in the bathroom by the cat, but sorry guys, he is definitely awoke.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. It's probably good that we're wrapping the things up right now. So if you are all, we have another letter waiting for us next week from a listener. Thank you so much for that. But we always have room for more. And so this is your cue at the moment to say, if you have a topic for the show, it can be a personal letter of a certain situation of yours, a discussion topic of a general nature, theorizing on something, things you want our opinion on. Let us know. Questions at taurentthinktank.com is our email. You can send it in Discord if you want. That's tinyurl.com/tttchat. And that's all I got.
Yeah.
That's all I got. We do have one /moo though.
Yeah.
We got a /moo, so I'm going to do that. And you copied this from last week, so I'll let you read it.
Yes. This is from Pete Bro Guy, a.k.a. that's Chat Mom.
That is
by
Chat
the
Mom,
way.
yes.
/moo to my coworker and office mate, Zach, for being one of the best friends I could ask for, and for being there for me for advice and venting.
Excellent.
So that sounds awesome.
Excellent.
It's good to have friends like that.
Yes. I'll tell you what, I don't know what I would do in this life without people who are sounding boards who can hear me through the stuff that... the stuff that has gone on in my life in the last 2+ years, man, and even before that. I don't know how I'd have gotten through them without the help of my friends. So, yeah, it is so crucial to have somebody that you can trust like that. It is, or more than one person if you're lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to have those people to lean on.
Yeah, we're not meant to be in this life on our own. It just doesn't work that way. Doesn't work. So, and that Mark Honan. Oh, by the way, do you have any /moos that I should have asked you?
Not
on the spot.
I don't
or
think
anything.
not on the top of my head. No.
That's cool. No, I do not either. But we have. We got one from Draven in there.
Yep. Draven's got one.
Draven
you want
says,
me to read it? Or you...
I got it. /moo to all those WoW players that haven't gone completely off the deep end this week, and double /moo to Blizz employees for dealing with all the people that have.
Yep. They have to have resolute iron skin and iron will to deal with the ever pounding tides that is negativity sometimes from their own fan base, which is odd to me.
Yeah.
Constructive critique is awesome. It's a way that they can be better. But just flat out just throwing insults and threats and what have you is just, nope, not way to do it.
Yeah. We do live in a world where people do not know how to process their emotions properly. It really is. It is so true. And, yeah, like instead of being able to clearly state, the burning of Teldrassil hurts my heart and I'm upset because you have taken away something that meant so much to me. It turns into, I am really mad and I want to burn your house down. Like it's just, or something a lot worse than that.
You could talk to the Zidormi, the bronze dragon lady, and go back to when it was still there, just like Theramore, just like everything else in the game that has changed. You can gotta go back in time.
Yeah,
you can do that. It's okay.
You can.
You can still take screenshots and darn asses. It's all right, folks.
It's like, I know.
Jeez.
I know. So, so that definite /moos there. All right, Mark Honan, that is a show.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
I agree.
I declare it's a show.
It is. Strike it. Boom. It is done.
Stamped, ready to go.
Scared the cat. Reese's sitting on my desk right below the camera, and she did not like me striking the desk. She's like, well, what's that doing?
We are definitely having cat startles today.
Yeah, she's drooling on my keyboard now. It's because I'm scratching her head.
Aw, that's
Silly
awesome.
kitty.
So what's going on with you for the next 7 days before we have another show to do?
Oh goodness. Still prepping for Battle for Azeroth. Hopefully going to finish Insane in the Membrane. You'll know next week if I did, which I should, because Darkmoon Fair starts on Sunday.
Yeah.
And that cuts down like 150 of those junk boxes I have to farm. So be doing that. Just another week working in Paradise. So I'll keep working on that. Just getting things ready. I booked my flight for BlizzCon, so I'm getting the hotel situation squared away. Just starting to plan that. And just kind of keeping my head in the game. You know, summer's almost over. It's weird. It was actually halfway pleasant yesterday. It was in the mid to upper 80s. And there was a breeze. I was like, why is there air conditioning when I'm outside and not in a car? Oh, that's wind. That's what they call that.
That's what that is.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm walking through a bowl of fresh, hot chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
Man, I love humidity. Ugh.
No.
The air is chunky when it's humid like that down here, and it's
down
weird.
there.
Like
that is something else. Yesterday I went for my walk outside. It was like 7 p.m. and it was 63 degrees.
Oh, heaven!
On August 1st, we've just been in this like colder realm, which has been like amazing because I haven't had to have the air on a ton. But it's like, but I think about you and the sweltering heat that you deal with every summer, and I'm just like, I'm kind of glad that I don't have that every single day.
Yeah, it is not fun. And tomorrow I have to go walking through an attic in the middle of the day. So I'm not looking forward to that. I'm going to plan my run so that I can be up there as little as possible.
Yeah.
Because it can be 130, 140, I think, in those attics in the middle of the day in the summer.
Yeah.
Not exactly the best place for me.
Nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
But I'll have plenty of water with me, and I'll have a coworker too. So if I'm up there too long, they'll come and check on me, make sure I'm not passed out or dead. So
good things.
That'll be good.
Good things.
Sorry we can't finish that installation today. One of our guys died in your attic. Yeah, he's still up there. He's halfway to beef jerky now. He's dehydrating.
Oh my
God. Ugh.
Well then, anything else going on?
Hey, on that positive note, yeah, that's pretty much it. Trying not to become a human beef jerky in an attic. So
sweet.
Sweet. It'd be fun. What about you? I know, man, you've got a lot going on the next week with all your new podcasts and projects and everything.
Yes, yeah. So I've got the first actual episode of Heroes News coming up. Super excited by that. And Esports Daily, I've got at least 2 episodes of that. And hopefully we'll be back on Slaying Demons this week. I had to miss 2 weeks because I was filling in for Nerf This on Tuesdays. And and then I'm going to be super excited and prepping for the HGC Western Clash, which is happening in California next weekend. So that's going to be great. I wish I could go, but unfortunately I cannot. So yeah, and hopeful that I might become employed soon. So that'd be great.
I'm hopeful for you too. Yeah,
that'd be awesome. So yeah, I'm excited and nervous and all those things, and I'm gonna just do my best to manage my stress levels and try to sleep a normal schedule, which I don't seem to have the ability to do lately. So
yeah,
we're gonna keep on working on that too.
Yeah, keep on trying.
Yeah, and with that, I think we're gonna bring this show to a close, just like we always do, which is like this. Tauren Think Tank is supported by you, our fans. Thank you to each and every one of you who supports us every month on Patreon. If you would like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/TaurenThinkTank.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can also find us outside of the show on our website. That's at TaurenThinkTank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us too.
If you want to meet other members of the Triple T community, you can join our Discord server. The quick way to get there is tinyurl.com/TTTchat2. And apparently, our Conan just set up a community inside the Blizzard launcher.
The BattleNet launcher. Yeah,
BattleNet launcher?
Yeah, on the groups in the social, just search for Tauren Think Tank. I've got it in there. I made it right before the show, so I'm not sure exactly how the invites work yet, but you can always send me a message if you want an invite.
Yes. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. And you can also find us on Facebook. You can like us there at taurenThinkTank or facebook.com/taurenThinkTank. Maybe I should look at the script.
Maybe.
You can find us on Twitter for the show at Tauren Think Tank. You can also find Jules at Jules RPG, myself at Mark Honan Wow, and you can also find awesome T-shirts like the one I just ordered and got in at taurenThinkTank.com/store. It's very soft. It's a very soft shirt. I love it.
It's awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Central. You can find us on the video stream at twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank. We love seeing you with us. We love hearing your feedback after you've listened to the show. If you can't make it live, we love you anyway. Don't worry about it. You're awesome. Mark Honan.
Jules.
Now that you have a cat tail in your face, because we've had a cat-filled show,
Yes, we
I will
have.
bid you good night and have a wonderful week.
Adieu and have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you all back here next Thursday for another rousing episode 280 of Tauren Think Tank.
280. We'll be back next week, and we can't wait. For myself, for Mark Honan, for the entire chat room, until next time. /moo, everybody.
/moo.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
Yay! That tail was just like...
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, Reese's just like, woo! And she decided now she's just on the ground over there.
She's like, whatever.
Just hanging out. Yeah.
I'm done with you.
Yeah. She wanted to be held for a little bit during the show there, so I just like, whoop. That's her favorite spot.
Come up here. Come hang out. Oh man, I do not know what happened with that cat. Holy crap.
Yeah.
He freaked me out because I heard the noise, and I don't know if my neighbor made a noise downstairs or something. But it was one of those moments like, I do not know what is happening right now. Is that thunder? Is that what? Like, I do not know what is happening right now. All right.
All right, I'm going to post another link for the Blizzard Tauren Think Tank group. So, Reese, what are you doing? Reese, what are you doing?
Reese.
When I say it like that, she knows she's in trouble. So Reese, quit that. What are you eating? I don't know what she's eating.
Halfway to beef jerky. I like halfway to beef jerky. You're muted.
She has a piece of plastic wrap or something she was batting around.
Oh, okay.
Silly cat.
How do you like halfway to beef jerky?
Halfway to beef jerky. Would you quit eating that? Stop. She just looks at me with the cutest face.
Stop
Reese.
it. Stop it.
Stop it. Stop that. Yeah. Halfway to beef jerky sounds fun.
All right, we're going to do it then. Thanks, Draven. You did your job well.
I don't have the spoons is kind of funny, too.
Yeah, that
but
one.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think the halfway to beef jerky is good. I like that one.
Kind of zings you near the end. You're like, oh, that's what they meant.
That's the thing.
You quit eating that, please. Come over here.
She's just walking over like, whatever, Dad.
Yeah, she's like, oh, okay, sorry. Would you quit eating that, sweetheart? Quit it. Oh, she's all lovey now. She's like, oh, I love you.
I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. It's too funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Silly goose.
Mm-hmm.
Silly cat.
That silly cat over there, too. It's just like he's nonchalantly grooming himself in his little bed. Like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't disrupt your show.
Not a bit.
Mm-mm.
Silly goose.
Oh man, this cat. It's never boring. Anywho, I think that is a suitable podcast to publish for tomorrow, don't you think?
I would say so. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think we can put that in the hopper.
I think so. Sleep well, wake a kitten. Hope you get
Yep.
some good rest.
Yep. Have a good night.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
And I think we're gonna get out of here too. Get some rest because I'm tired. I did not sleep well last night either. So.
Yeah, and I've actually got to go to Walmart and do some grocery shopping now. So because we're doing that river canoeing trip this weekend for my anniversary. So
yeah,
that'll be fun. So we're gonna go get some supplies and some food.
Good.
We're staying in a little cabin area thingy.
Well, go get your shopping done, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yep. See you next week, folks. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week next week. /moo, folks.